Young man, you've dropped this.
I don't want it.
Neither does Tunbridge Wells.
Hello from Scotland, and a special welcome to Paps of Jura. Many people are of the belief that the place is only full of fishermen and pheasant pluckers. Mind you, the fishermen are good-natured too. In the 12th century, Vikings came in their big, long boats from Norway and landed in the wee coves that are dotted all along the west coast of the island. Well, they vandalized the crofts, plundered all the little whiskey stills, and raped all the women. We've got the same thing today, but we call them oil rig workers. Oh, forgive my wee joke there. No, the oil rig workers are a fine bunch of lads. They've brought a new vitality to the islands. They've brought money and, of course, their modern inventions, the wireless and the gramophone. Now, what is there for you to see on the island? Well, there is a relic of the Second World War. Down on the jagged rocks is the wreck of an Irish submarine that torpedoed itself. Commander Patrick O'Leary went down with it. And you know, some nights, when there's a full moon, you can still see his big periscope sticking up out of the water. The inhabitants are a very friendly lot here, and they'll make you very welcome. Well, it's as simple as this. If you're friendly to them, then they'll be friendly to you. There's a wee story about old Dougal MacDougall the shepherd. Well, he was herding his sheep down a wee road, and his sheep forced a tourist's car to stop. Now, the tourist, he was a Chinaman, got out of his car and said to old Dougal, "Get the flock out of here." Well, old Dougal knocked the stuffing out of him. Then he lifted him up and threw him over a cliff. But do you know what I'm going to tell you? That wee Chinaman still comes back to this island. Only when the tide comes in, of course. If danger and a bit of excitement is what you seek on a holiday, this island can provide that too. Avoid the weekday boats from the mainland, hire a boat you can navigate yourself. Arrive on Sunday just as the minister and the good people of the isle are coming out of the church, and soon all of them will be round you on the jetty, shouting, "No landing on God's holy day," and battering you to death with their hymn books. Good night and Hallas Tarig, and if you're wondering what that means, it's Gaelic, or as you English say, Gaelic for piss off.
Tomorrow in the Sunday Stir, the exclusive story of the Dolly Bird who was paid to give another woman 30 lashes. At last, the long-suppressed love letters of Lily Langtry, a passionate affair that rocked the throne. Discover how Lily earned the nickname Spuds when she became a bag of King Edward's. Tomorrow, it's Pussy Week in the Sunday Stir. Can you tell people from their pussies, match up the perfect pair and purr your way to a fortune? Is there sex after death? The Sunday Stir groped beyond the grave, and Madame Jaja tells why she's a happy medium. All in tomorrow's sizzling Sunday Stir. Start the day with a bang.
Well, you never knew you were worth so much, did you?
Oh, my word, now, isn't that a beauty? And aren't you a lucky lady to have her? You've had it a long time, I expect.
It's been my cross for years.
It may be a cross, but I don't fancy that it does have any ecclesiastic connections. I'd make a guess that it's a maiden aunt.
Yes, and I'm its niece.
Someone's gone to a lot of trouble to preserve this one. I like it because it's so simple. It just oozes simplicity, this thing. You know, at one time, you'd probably find it behind the counter. I'd say that it was a village post, mistress. Would I be right?
Yes, it used to be in a sub-post office in Swansea, but they got closed down.
Yes, they're not in great demand these days, but my goodness, this one's well preserved. Just look at those beady eyes and that mean little mouth. It's got position, closed, written all over it. Oh, Now, that's unusual in a village postmistress. This one's been touched up.
During the war, I expect, when the Yanks were here.
Oh, and look at that lovely ear. It's absolutely intriguing. Now, this was a common feature of the village postmistress, and it's known as the deaf ear. Whenever there was a queue of people clamoring for attention, the ear would turn totally deaf. These are the fingers inlaid with a rich patina of ink stains, the fingers that used to push your stamps across the counter, always with the sticky side down, so that you got a nice collection of muck and fluff on your tuckless halfpence. I'm not so keen on the plain bow-fronted chest, but here and there are some nice splashes of colour. Now, that's the Rococo style. Yes, definitely Rococo.
Or do you think it's cocoa the dry cleaners weren't sure?
It's a decent old piece, but very difficult to date.
Except during the war, the GIs weren't too fussy.
The top is nice and firm. Let's have a closer look down here. You see, the main weight is taken by those thick and, to my mind, rather ugly cabrio legs. But you know, it's always the bottom that appeals to me. Oh, my goodness, isn't that exciting? Just look at that lovely curve sweeping down to that nicely shaped bottom. It's a beautiful blend of Sheraton and arthritis. And if we're very lucky, we might be able to find a pair of old drawers in here. No. And underneath the fabric, of course, there's the leg itself. Oh, it's quite exquisite. I can't remember ever seeing varicose veins like that. Just look at that lovely grain marble effect.
Any idea how much it's worth?
Well, we're talking about a living, breathing antique. I think that it could be worth about £700. The most excellent postmistress. Oh, dear. Oh, what a shame. I'm afraid it's absolutely valueless. This rather crude bit of restoration has totally ruined it. This isn't the original leg. It's a wooden one. Nice bit of English oak, but oh dear, what a shame. Now, I'm afraid if you wanted to raise money on this, you'd have very little to fall back on. Good afternoon.
Yes, madam. Can I help you? Well, do you wish to report a crime? Or has anything been stolen? Well, then what can I do for you?
I would bear up at this police brutality.
And now on to, in just a moment, the worst of Alastair Fleming. Like everything else, royal events don't always go according to plan. At such times, a TV commentator must hide his embarrassment and keep talking. In other words, fill in rotten. There, as the magnificent symbol of our future and a proud reminder of our past, stands Buckingham Palace. Neck's crane and every eye is fixed on the famous balcony, waiting for the best-loved lady in the land to make her appearance. The state coach returned to the palace 5 minutes ago, so we shouldn't have long to wait. The dense crowd have been singing Happy Birthday to You, which was spontaneous, deeply touching, and very confusing, because today is the occasion of Her Grace's ruby wedding. But as I say, this is a particularly dense crowd. The sun has shone as if specially ordered for the occasion. And who knows, perhaps it was. From here, we get a breathtaking view of the Mall, stretching all the way down to Admiralty Arch. The Mall was originally laid out centuries ago, and as you can see, it is still very much in evidence. Pavements on either side, and in the middle, the Mall itself. It doesn't meander, but goes, as I said, straight down to Admiralty Arch. It's an avenue. Where there's an avenue, you expect to find trees, and the Mall is no exception. It has trees on either side. Perhaps the measure of the Mall's enduring appeal is that one can always find something interesting and new to say about it. One never ceases to be amazed at how long it is. Certainly very long indeed. I gather there's been a movement behind the curtains, so at any moment Her Grace, the Duchess of Brenda, will be coming out onto the maroon and gold draped balcony. All for the benefit of viewers with monochrome television sets, the black and white draped balcony. Cheer goes up from the crowd, and yes, smiling radiantly in an unmistakable style and visibly affected by the warmth of the crowd is... No, I'm afraid it was only a footman, and he's gone back in again. Disappointment for the crowd. It was probably his lilac dress and matching hat of ostrich feathers that confused everyone. In the meantime, let's have another look at that truly wonderful sight. The Mall. There it is, reassuring and completely unchanged since we saw it a few moments ago. Now, over to the left is St. James's Park. One can almost describe it as the front garden of Buckingham Palace, an immensely large park. Any gardening enthusiast can see the park is a riot of grass. Now, overseas visitors who want to see what English grass is all about should make straight for St. James's Park. Where, familiar London sight, a pigeon. When you're a pigeon and living in St. James's Park, you probably get a little blasé about having royal neighbours. But it must be difficult, even for a pigeon, not to swell with pride on a day like this. Sitting astride his horse, I can see Police Commissioner Aston Crawhurst, fondly known as Basher Crawhurst. A man of courage, and today smiling bravely, even though the shadow of criminal charges are hanging over him. Now a look at Admiralty Arch, with its great bulk that is redolent above all else of its sheer size. Taking its name, not surprisingly, from the Admiralty, the arch is quite unique. It is, in fact, the only arch at the end of the Mall. Solid and the very epitome of arch building at its best. It always surprises me that the poet Coleridge never wrote a single word about the Admiralty Arch. And neither did Keats or Shelley. Another glimpse of our friend, the pigeon, going about his business. Once again, all eyes are fixed on the balcony with eager anticipation. And there's Admiralty Arch again, still lying determinedly at the end of the Mall. And now, yes, the moment we've all been waiting for, Her Grace the Duchess of Brenda has come out onto the balcony, and she smiles radiantly. Now she appears to be holding the end of a rope. She is, of course, a keen sailor, and perhaps we're going to get a demonstration of her sailing skill. Well, this is truly remarkable. The human face of royalty. Although this is her special day, her ruby wedding, the Duchess has remembered that today is also Monday. And following an age-old tradition, Monday is wash day. Pantyhose and Y-fronts fluttering in the breeze, a sight to gladden the hearts of everyone in the crowd, young and old, rich and poor, and not least that bloody pigeon.
Ladies and gentlemen, majestic memory manifestation, Britannic Bristols, tantalizing titillation. It's up in a balloon, boys, with the bulldozing, dull-boozing bull-dikery of Miss Bessie Broadbent.
Some time ago I with dearest papa went down to a fete and fancy bazaar at the great Crystal Palace, a very fine day, and the gardens were filled with the great and the gay. Among other sights on that fine afternoon was a captain's ascent in his giant balloon. A handsome young fellow and brave to be sure, such a beau as the ladies must really adore. Up in our balloon, girls, up in our balloon, sailing through the air on a summer's afternoon. Up in our balloon, girls, up in our balloon. What a happy place now to spend your honeymoon. Up in our balloon, girls, up in our balloon, sailing through the air on a summer's afternoon. Up in our balloon, girls, up in our balloon. What a happy place now to spend your honeymoon.
Flaccid pectorals pictorially flexed, lackluster lallies in parabolic contortion, and diabolical confusion. The nadir of Naffanellis, the two Barnados. epitomization of prissy pulchritude. The mincing meandering of unmelodious mediocrity, our knackered nightingale, Miss Loretta Lorraine! To thank you and ask you to join in our final chorus. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Loretta Lorraine, the entire company, but this time chiefly yours